Cuyahoga County Council Public Works Procurement and Contracting Committee is now called to order. Janine, would you please call the roll?
And just as a reminder to all who are in attendance, this meeting is being recorded and live streamed on the county's YouTube page. Calling the roll, Mr. Jones.
Here.
Mr. Castleberry.
Here.
Ms. Conwell. Mr. Miller. Mr. Miller is absent at the moment. Mr. Sweeney is absent. There is a quorum.
All right, thank you. Janine, has anyone signed in for public comment?
No, Mr. Chair, no one has signed in.
All right. Well, at this time, we will entertain a motion to approve our minutes from our July 16, 2025 meeting.
So moved.
It's been properly moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. All right, this time we have two items referred to committee, and Janine, if you would read our first item into the record.
And also let the record reflect that Council President Miller is in attendance. Resolution number 2025-0250, authorizing a revenue-generating utility agreement with the Village of Bracknell for maintenance and repair of storm and sanitary sewers and pumping stations located in County Sewer District number 25.
All right.
Good morning, Melanie Say, Department of Public Works. The Department of Public Works is a leader when it comes to regional collaboration across the county. Through a strong commitment to efficiency, shared resources, and high-quality service delivery, we are proud to serve more than 2/3 of the county's 59 communities. Today, we are requesting your approval on our 33rd full-service community agreement. This brings the total number of communities we now support to 44, including our direct bill communities. The steady growth reflects the trust placed in our department and the value communities see in partnering with us. We remain focused on building strong relationships, delivering reliable infrastructure support, and helping our member communities thrive. The funds collected will help maintain, operate, rehabilitate, and repair Bracknell's sanitary and sewage systems. Bracknell's rates are set for 2026 and are $2 for sanitary and $1 for storm. I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right, are there any questions from the committee?
I don't have any. I just, yes, through the chair. Okay, I don't understand how the underground works, but does these connect to the neighboring cities? Do these, I know this is just a clean out of their drains and stuff, but these sewers all connect some kind of way to the neighboring cities, don't they?
They do connect underground to the city.
Mr. Chair, I'd like my name added.
All right, let's add Councilwoman's name. Is the ground, I'm trying to visualize what happens. Do they have to tear into the ground? Is there?
So the services that we'll provide under this particular agreement can vary. So it's just cleaning of the regular sewer and CCTV cleaning, testing, smoke and dye testing. So it varies. It can include some construction work. It's at the need of the community.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, no question, but I just want to thank you for being here today and make a comment just so I can speak to a community that I used to represent. Well, I still do as county, but in Parma, what a tremendous improvement when we signed on with the county. We saw the progress, didn't take long, and it continues to improve. So I can speak that, when these communities sign on with the county, they're going to get their money's worth and we'll see improvements.
Thank you.
Okay, and what I heard you say, Melanie, is that there are now 44 communities that are in revenue-generating agreements with the county?
Correct.
Okay.
33 full service, and then we have 11 direct bill.
You said 33 full service and 11 direct bill.
Correct.
I'm not sure I understand the difference between those two.
Direct bill is an as-needed service, so they call us when they need just certain work done, whereas our full service, on a yearly basis, we're going to come out and clean and televise your sewer systems to make sure that you're in line with EPA requirements and guidelines.
And each community, like Bracknell, they set their rates. They set the $2 sanitary and the $1
Yes,
storm.
correct.
Did they just do that recently? Is that a change or an increase or?
So Bracknell is coming on, so
Okay.
this will be their first year, and they set it at 2 and 1, so it is a new rate.
Okay. And this new rate lasts for what time frame?
It's a year, but it'll keep going forward each year unless the city changes the rate.
Okay. And they have opportunity every year to change it.
Correct.
Question.
Yes, go right ahead.
Through the chair to Melanie, when you say maintenance, so when you put the camera in, if they require any maintenance or anything like that, are we doing it?
Correct, yes.
Okay. Are we letting them know or just taking care of it at that point?
It just depends on the situation. If it's an emergency situation, they call us out, then we're going to take care of it then. If it's something that we see that may need more structural repair, then we'll let them know, and we work with their city engineer to come up with a plan.
Okay, and in terms of, what was I gonna ask about? Is City of Cleveland in any of these direct bill or full service agreements?
No.
Okay.
The revenue generation, is that obviously to the county, and are we actually profiting?
We're not necessarily profiting, but we do employ our workers, and this money supports that employment.
Would you say we break even, or do we take a loss in this?
We break
endeavor?
even.
We break even.
Yeah, we
Okay.
do not take a profit. That is one of the benefits of coming on as a full-service community with us.
Okay.
Another question.
Yes, go right ahead.
Through the chair to Melanie, as our union contracts and things go up, does that tie into our renegotiation with the agreements and prices going up?
Yes, we try to keep our rates steady, but as the union rates do go up, every couple of years, we do revisit our actual rates that we charge to communities.
What do you charge the community?
Oh,
And on
there
this
is
one in
actually
particular.
a list, and it's just by service. If you like, I can get you that full list.
I don't need the full list. I'm just getting a sense of what brought now.
Like for CCTV, like $2.12 an hour. So it varies, depending on the type of work we're doing.
If I'm visualizing this correctly, there's $2 sanitary, $1 storm. This money's collected from the residents of Braunau,
Yes,
and
on a
with that-
tax duplicate.
on the tax duplicate, and that $3 in total has to, or our expenses have to pretty much break even or equal with that $3.
Usually, on any given year, most communities do not utilize all of their money that's set there, because sometimes they want to set money aside for emergencies or for capital purchases.
So obviously, the overall 33 or 44 communities that you have to break even with.
No.
Okay. All right, any further questions? If not, we will entertain a motion.
I am requesting second reading suspension so that we can get right away working with the Village of Braunau.
Okay.
Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we favorably recommend Resolution 2025-250 to the full council with recommendation for second reading suspension.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. Melanie, I have one additional question. Are the cities of Garfield, Maple, cities in my district, are they, the ones I
Full
mentioned
service.
are part, those are both full service?
Yes.
How about Cuyahoga Heights and Newburgh Heights?
Newburgh Heights is full service. I do not see Cuyahoga Heights as part of our service agreements.
Okay. But Maple, Garfield, and Newburgh.
Yes.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes, Councilman President.
you're on the right track. I'm going to do the same thing. What about Lakewood and Brook Park?
Lakewood is one of our direct bill agreements, and Brook Park is not one of our agreements.
Okay, thank you.
All right, if there are no further questions. Oh, yes, go right
I
ahead.
was just coming up, Mike Dever, Director of Public Works. I was just coming up to see if there was any other further questions. Melanie obviously is very instrumental in the program itself and advancing it, and we're very happy to see that we're continuing to grow in this area. And so it's a great program, and we're doing the best we can out there, so.
Any tough questions for Mike since he had the courage to step up? No, all right. Well, we thank you, Director. Thank you for that. All right. Okay. If nothing else holds our attention, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it. All right.
Thank you.
Melanie, what's your last name again? Spell it for me. Janine, if you read our next item into the record.
Resolution number 2025-0253, ratifying an amendment to the Code of Regulations of the Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency.
Good morning. My name is Annie Pease. I'm Senior Advisor on Transportation to the Cuyahoga County Executive. I'm here today to speak on this item. A bit of background. The Northeast Ohio Area-Wide Coordinating Agency, abbreviation NOACA, is the transportation and environmental planning agency for the 5-county area that represents state, county, city, village, and township officials in Greater Cleveland. NOACA is governed by a 48-member board consisting of elected and appointed public officials from the 5-county region, and the board determines how federal transportation dollars are spent throughout the region. These board seats on the 48-member board are proportional across the 5-county area, largely based on population. The item before the committee today relates to a change in NOACA's Code of Regulations, which governs the composition of the board of directors. Geauga County, one of the 5 counties, is requesting that their county engineer is added to the board of directors. With this change, they aren't adding a new seat, but rather changing an existing seat currently designated for a county commissioner to the county engineer. This change requires approval from the NOACA board of directors and the other 4 counties, including Cuyahoga. The NOACA Board of Directors passed a resolution of support of this change at the last board meeting, which was June 13th of this year. And the Geauga County Commissioners also passed a resolution of support following the NOACA board meeting on June 17th of this year. So with that, I'm happy to take any questions from committee members.
All right, any questions from the committee? Councilwoman?
Through the chair, so Ms. Pease, the change of the county commissioners from Geauga, correct? So how many county commissioners from Geauga did they have on there, 1 or 2?
They've had 3 seats for Geauga County Commissioners.
Okay, so it'll be now 2 and then the one with the engineer.
Correct.
Okay,
And there are 3 commissioners total for Geauga County.
thank you.
Any further questions?
Yes, just a comment that I was on the NOACA board for a number of years, and I'm familiar with the situation, and it has the support of the local county and the board as a whole, and that I support the amendment. Thank you.
What initiated the change? What spurred the change to take place?
What spurred the change was the discussion at the NOACA board meeting on June 13th that really initiated the other counties needing to either express support or non-support for the change. But the Geauga County Commissioners came to the NOACA board requesting the change.
Further questions? If not, Ms.
Thank you.
Pease, we will entertain a motion to pass this without any suspensions or specific.
I would like to request a second reading suspension if possible. NOACA has requested the changes to come back or the resolutions to come back by early September. So if possible, I do request second reading suspension.
Okay,
I do have another question.
go right ahead.
Through the chair to Ms. Annie, why is it coming to us? And does every county commissioners, do you have to go before them and ask them for their approval as well?
Through the chair to the council member, it's coming to us because by NOACA's rules, after passage, if it passes, this type of change passes the full NOACA board, each county also has to, each county that's represented on the board, so it's a 5-county region. So this type of resolution will go before each of the other counties. They all have different processes, or it would follow each county's process for determining what that resolution looks like.
Thank you.
There are no further questions. Do we do a motion already?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to favorably recommend Resolution 2025-253 with recommendation for second reading suspension.
Second.
All right, properly moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
Ms. Pease. This time we are going to have a presentation on the energy participation program, and just an update.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and committee members. My name is Matt Reimer. I'm the Facilities Administrator for the Department of Public Works, and I will be giving you an informational presentation on the County Energy Participation Program, but it is a presentation that's required under our County Code 80604, which is that program as adopted and renewed last year by County Council. If I could, there we go. Excellent. We are joined, a couple of administrative notes on the program. For the last 5 or so years, you've been used to seeing me present this program in committee. We're going to have an administrative change now that we have the utility staff and Administrator Foley underneath the Department of Public Works. We'll be changing the ownership of this program to Mr. Foley. So from this point on, Mr. Foley and his team will be presenting the Energy Participation Program briefings. So thank you, and it's a pleasure to be here today one last time to do that, but I'll support Mike in anything he needs. Also, administratively, where was I going to go with that? I'll get into the presentation there. As I mentioned, this was a program that we established in 2019 through county ordinance, and had a 5-year duration, and County Council favorably supported and extended the program for 10 years late last year through Ordinance 24-011. Underneath this program, I have presented 4 different times on actual transactions within the program. This would be the 5th. You can see listed on the slide that I have there the different times that we've briefed natural gas basis contracts in 2019, electrical supply contracts in 2021, and natural gas basis contracts, and then in 2023, electrical supply contracts as well. As context, we purchase natural gas and electrical supply quantities through a couple different means. This is just one of those means. The other means that we have is an electrical services agreement with Cleveland Public Power for a certain number of county buildings. We also have a solar power purchase agreement with on-site partners in Madison Energy. And then this agreement covers our group purchase through the State County Commissioners Association of Ohio Service Corporation, electrical supply for our First Energy accounts, as well as natural gas for our buildings that are in the program. So that's the briefing I'm giving you now. So if you don't see certain buildings in the slides that we show, chances are they're in a different program. So happy to answer those questions. We also have with us today Mr. Kirkland Mazurek from the CCAO Service Corporation Energy Program. Palmer Energy is the CCAO's program manager for the Energy Participation Program, and he's here to answer any questions. So I will intend to move briefly through the slide deck and briskly through the slide deck, and then preserve time for any questions that you may have for Mr. Mazurek. In this slide, the CCAO I'm presenting today basically the new electrical supply contracts as well as the natural gas basis contracts that were executed in the spring of this year. So those are the things that I'm presenting in the program today, in the presentation today. Back in late 2024, the CCAO went out on a statewide RFP that had over 600 million kilowatt hours of power and over 3,600 accounts represented in the RFP. We have 36 of those accounts and almost 41 million kilowatt hours represented. So you can see the buying power of the program that the state makes up to get competitive rates. They had 10 suppliers offer quotes and responses for 3 different user groups, and those user groups are based on size of electrical accounts, and they evaluated 5 suppliers and then worked with the member counties to establish their selection criteria. The county has been participating in this program since 2013, and as I mentioned, underneath the current county code provisions since 2019. As I mentioned, we have 36 of those electric accounts. These are for all things that are part of the illuminating company, First Energy, and the annual usage, almost 41 million kilowatt hours. So the estimated program savings by acquiring electricity this way for these accounts is almost 3.2 million as estimated by the program. This slide, you can see the results of the electric RFP. We have 36 accounts. One account which took effect in June of this year, and that's for the Justice Center complex, and that has a duration of June 2025 through May 2027. The other 35 accounts are in various groupings based on consumption, and those take effect at various points in June of 2026 through May of 2027. So you can see that part of the evaluation of the CCO program is to decide how long to extend those contracts out, and that's based on market conditions. So if there's any questions on that, I can defer those to Mr. Mazurek when the time is right. But the Justice Center contract was due this spring, so that's the one that took effect right away. These are the major buildings and complexes that are on this program electrical account, specifically the Justice Center complex, the Harvard Road Maintenance Facility, the Hilton and the Convention Center, and the County Animal Shelter in Valley View. This is an informational slide just for reference. This gives the different types of contract and the different electrical suppliers for each group as awarded by the CCO Service Corporation as a result of their RFP. You can see that there were multiple groupings based on account consumption size, similar term ending dates, different suppliers depending on what group they were in, and different contract terms. Specifically, the smaller accounts are in what's called an all-inclusive rate, and then groups 2 and 3, which represent the larger accounts across the county and across the state that meet that consumption, have a lower initial rate but incorporate capacity costs and market conditions. Something of note on this slide is context. You can see that on the lower table, those are all the statewide accounts or the statewide participants, and you know, we're one of the major ones of the 4 million kilowatt hour group 3 groupings. We have 3 of those accounts just with the Justice Center complex, the Convention Center, and the Hilton Hotel. On this slide, you can see just a comparison to the type of buildings that are on the different kinds of accounts. On Cleveland Public Power, which is outside of this briefing, you can just see as context where what buildings are in that electrical supply agreement compared to the accounts that are with First Energy and in this briefing and in this RFP that I mentioned to the right. Before I go further, I'm done with the electrical briefing, and before I transition to natural gas, I just wanted to give an opportunity for questions.
I have a question. Can you say a little bit about when it's advantageous to have the all-inclusive price structure and when it's advantageous to have the capacity pass through?
Through the chair to Council President Miller, I anticipated that question may come up, so that's why we invited Mr. Mazurek. So I'll ask him to join me at the mic and see if he can answer that for committee members. Kirk.
Okay, thank you. Hi, Kirk Mazurek, representing the County Commissioners Association today. I'm actually an owner of Palmer Energy, but in this set, I'm working for the CCAO. Council member, the fundamental part on that is first we go through on sizes, 0 to 700,000, 700,000 to 4 million, 4 million and above. All the smaller accounts, it's more advantageous to just take an all-inclusive approach to the capacity. That's how we wanted that bid out. Those are your small pump stations, all the other things from that perspective. When you go into a capacity situation, and if I get too technical, just tell me to get back on track, but fundamentally, everybody pays capacity. You're going to pay it, it's called the size of the pipe the electricity is going through. And you're going to pay it whether it goes up, whether it goes down. Historically, up until a few years ago, most people would just take whatever the supplier said your capacity is going to be through the auction process and include that. And then if it changed, what they ended up doing was they took advantage of you. If the capacity rates went down and you had already signed the contract at the higher capacity levels, they took advantage of that and they pocketed that. And if it went up, you still paid for it. So what we did in the CCAO program a number of years ago is did capacity pass-through, because again, you're gonna pay it regardless. We don't wanna put that in the supplier's pocket, we wanna put that in your pocket, so it made a lot more sense to do capacity pass-through deals. And that's why it makes sense on your higher level accounts to do that. But the smaller accounts, it's very cumbersome with, when there's not a lot of usage and there's thousands of accounts and there's just not a lot of usage, or pump houses, that kind of thing. Does that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Yep.
We'll see if there's other questions.
Any other questions for me?
Okay.
Also presenting today are the natural gas basis contracts. The basis contract is the cost of getting the natural gas from the supplier to the utility and to the area. The way CCAO Service Corporation procures natural gas quantities is, one, through the basis contract and setting those rates, and then two, through the quantities of natural gas that we use. And they typically buy those through hedges, through the Energy Committee, and they look at the market conditions. And a favorable time typically to buy those hedged quantities is during the winter time. So, and I'll if there are questions on that, I can have Kurt come up and describe that a little bit as well. We have 12 accounts in the natural gas program. 11 of these are on the Enbridge Choice program, and one account, based on its size, it's the Juvenile Justice Center, is on the Enbridge GTS program. So this contract that was executed by CCAO took effect in April of this year and runs for a 2-year duration through March of 2027, and it sets the basis rate of 45 cents per MCF for the cost of natural gas to get transported to our local area and the buildings. Here in this slide, you can see just a breakdown of some of the different buildings that are on the natural gas account. And just as context, back in 2024, when we presented, in 2023, when we presented the previous natural gas contracts, CCO gave us a budget amount for the 2024 year of $597,148. The budget projection for 2026, by comparison, is $662,903. So an increase, and because there is an increase in the basis contract costs, but it is a modest increase over that 2-year period on the natural gas side. Happy to answer any questions on that.
I think I heard you answer the question I had in my mind as you were talking, was just how much do we pay for electricity and for gas overall?
So that was the natural gas figure that I quoted on the.
Quote that number one more time?
Yes. So the budget estimate that was provided in 2020 for the 2024 year was $597,148. And the budget estimate for 2026 is $662,903.
Natural gas,
This is natural gas.
2025 and 2026.
And then for the same, and I'm using those estimates because that was the estimate that immediately followed the execution of quantity and agreements through the CCO program. That's why there's a gap between the 2 years. The 2024 estimate for electric after that supply agreement was $3,520,000 for the 2024 year. And the same estimate following the execution of these contracts that we're presenting today is $4,855,000. So you can see there was an increase significantly.
Is that over a 2-year period or 1-year period?
That was the difference between the 2026 projection and the 2024 projection for a single year of consumption.
I didn't follow that. In 2024, we paid $3 million in electric
3.5.
3.5.
Yes,
And in
Mr. Chair.
2025, we paid,
I don't have that number just because it was the budget estimate for those 2 years, but I can get that number. But 4.85 million is an increase over the 2-year period of 1.3 million annually. And I think that's primarily due to the capacity market conditions. I'll look to Kirk for confirmation.
okay. Okay, any other questions from the committee?
Through the chair to Mr. Reimer, I noticed that the natural gas contracts or accounts, there's similar ones on the electric. Why do we have a difference? And
So as I mentioned in my context statement at the beginning, we acquire electricity through a few different means. The two primary ones are electrical supply services agreement with Cleveland Public Power. As you all may know, we're in a unique situation in Northeast Ohio with having two competing utilities in this urban area, and that's not common to a lot of communities. So we have two different utility suppliers providing electricity. We don't have that with the natural gas. So you'll see where the buildings that may be on one or the other program on electric may not be the same as the account listings that we have for natural gas. And we also have buildings that don't have natural gas because they're fed through the Cleveland Thermal steam or chilled water system, as opposed to needing natural gas fired equipment to heat the buildings. So that's another reason that where you may not see certain county buildings on this natural gas account.
so in terms of, through the chair, so in terms of the aggregate that's discussed or the ones that were connected with CPP, are they the ones doing the negotiating in terms of that?
So that agreement
aggregate
was set,
amount.
I believe, I'm going to look to Mike, at 2018. And so the rates were set at that time, or the rate structure was set at that time during that contract.
But who sets it? We, the county, or city of Cleveland, if we have a partnership?
Councilwoman Mike Foley from Public Works also. So it was negotiated, the rates are negotiated when we established the contract in 2018. So there's a set amount. Cleveland Public Power has, kind of two rate structures. One is for kind of roughly the distribution of electricity, and then what they buy power off the grid. They don't produce any of their own power. So it fluctuates based on every other account. It's the same structure for every other account across the city of Cleveland. We'll get a straight rate, and then a rate based on the energy that they are buying off the grid that they're passing along to us.
Okay, so do we check their figures, is what I'm asking?
Yes, we do. So we get bills every month, and we plug them into a system, and we look at them and make sure they're okay.
And the reason I'm bringing it up, because I was one of those residents that didn't pay attention to my little card that I got in the mail. And so I just assumed that the rate that City of Cleveland negotiated was going to be a savings for me. It was not. So I went down that rabbit hole of learning. And I know commercial is different than residential, but just wondering if we check those rates to make sure that there wasn't we want to be in agreement with them. Is there something better for us out there?
Mr. Reimer said we've got a contract till 2018 with them, and it's based on, we did get a reduction when we moved some of the buildings over. It was like a 10% reduction in the energy services kind of portion of their bill, but we still pay for what they pay off the grid. I mean, what they buy power off the grid, we still pay whatever they're paying, basically, and they pass that along to us.
And the reason I'm saying that, my MCF was 6.6 something with them, and then when I did my own homework, I got it for 3.8. Big difference in the gas bill.
Negotiated that? Most residents, and Mike, before you go, most residents don't do what Councilwoman has done and find ways to bring theirs down. Do you spend dedicated time trying to bring these costs down? Is there any consideration of clean energy, solar, and can you speak to that?
Yeah, so We've got solar on 2 of the Cleveland Public Power accounts at the Jane Hunter Building and the
Newburgh
the
Heights
medical,
facility.
well, the Medical Examiner's Building.
Medical examiners,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's on the Cleveland Public Power side. And that's really going to help as we talked about this capacity charge increases. So that will really reduce our need to take power off the grid during the most expensive times, because solar generates power when people are using it, like on really hot days in the summer. So the more power we're generating because of solar, the less we're taking off the grid when it's the most expensive. And then we've got solar over at the animal shelter and the Harvard Road Garage. It's the same concept. So when power is the most expensive, we're producing our own electricity and not buying it from the grid. So we're tracking that as well.
So we don't have sunshine like Arizona, but what we do have is Lake Erie. I remember 15 years ago, we were inundated with tours and big visions of putting windmills out in Lake Erie. Whatever happened to that? And is that an opportunity to, again, reduce some of our costs? Well, it was a bigger vision than that, but I'm just thinking just to reduce our own costs.
Yeah, so Councilman, that's kind of had a tortured history, that project. It was the Project Icebreaker, and Weedco ran it. And they got a lot of money from the federal government, actually, to kind of test this theory about putting at least 6 wind turbines out in Lake Erie. And the problem is, even with all of that federal money, the project was really expensive, and so the price per kilowatt hour was still really high. So the only 2 entities that really agreed to buy that power, just because we wanted to see it happen, was the county and the city of Cleveland. And even with our willing to buy some of that, that was only at about 1/3 of the total project cost to be able to buy power that, of that 100% needed. So that project, and it went to the Supreme Court. There was issues with birds and bat studies and First Energy, it was part of the, the corruption issues going on with the Public Utility Commission chair, things like, so it's tortured his history. There is a new entity that's come back in town who's kind of looked at this, and there are some valuable assets that LEEDCO still has. They've got the submerged land lease rights. They've got these bird and bat studies. So there is a new company coming in to look at that to see if they could take advantage of the assets that already exist and kind of reconfigure a process in Lake Erie. There's still a lot of problems they're going to have to figure out and solve, but they seem to have some money and interest, and they think that wind energy is something that's not going to go away, and said that there's an opportunity in the lake.
Okay. Well,
Mr. Chairman.
yes, go right ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, this is getting back just to one thing, Mr. Foley, if you can clarify with the 10% savings with Cleveland Public Power. That was on their services end. Can you explain that?
On the distribution side.
Distribution side, yeah. Okay, so.
So we're still paying them.
Understood. We're paying what they pay or off the grid, but for their distribution to us, we're getting a 10% discount on all of that.
Yeah, and it's because of the size of our building space.
Yeah.
We've got a number of large-scale buildings that were part of that, so.
Absolutely. No, I just wanted a clarification on that number. Thank you.
And that was part of when we did the Brooklyn Solar project, that was kind of part of the deal. So they agreed we built the Brooklyn Solar project. We're using their lines to distribute that power into county buildings. And as part of that, we brought a couple buildings onto the contract.
Mr. Chairman, if I could build off of that just really quick. Within the CCAO program, there's an interaction when the CCAO solicits their RFP. When they're confirming the number of accounts and the type of accounts that we have on that, but they're also asking us what level of renewable energy credit or REC that we're incorporating into the rate. And we do 100% RECs. So that means that the electrical supply that we're getting from those contracts is coming from that supplier through other nationwide renewable energy sources. So we're getting that on paper 100% coming in to the accounts. And so that's the structure that then they provide their market rate based on.
All right. Any further questions?
Just a comment regarding the wind project. The new company that has come in also has new technology that can build the project at a much lower construction cost, and that gives them a better chance of succeeding.
Great, great. Well, I was sold on it when I first came into office and still waiting anxiously to see what will happen. I still remember my Casio calculator in the 7th grade and hold it up and it worked on solar power. So somehow they'll figure out how to add it to further enhance on that. But, okay.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just close with, unless there's other questions, that the.
I did have one other question.
Yes, please do.
The solar panels on the Harvard Road garage.
Yes.
How is that impacting any discounts or any savings?
That's taking consumption directly off the meter. Right, Mike? Am I right in that statement?
Yeah, so we have a power purchase agreement, so someone else owns those panels and then they sell us the electrons, basically, so we're their customer, basically. So, so that reduces the amount of power we're taking off the grid for the power that, the solar electrons are the first ones used, right? So to the utility, it just looks like we're using a lot less electricity. So that, that contract runs through, I forget, it's like 10 or 15 years more, I think. And the estimate is that, so for all 4 of the solar projects, when we put this together, we estimated we would save, $1.5 million, $1.8 million. So that estimate for all 4 buildings is still holding true, that we think we're going to save at least, $1.5 million roughly dollars, especially with these capacity price increases happening, that we're on track to reduce our energy costs because of the solar panels on all 4 buildings.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll just close by saying that I think the next time you'll see us present on this program, and if there's any significant hedge quantity buys from the Energy Committee for natural gas coming into the winter. Otherwise, we won't have any formal contract changes that we'll need to present on for another 2 years. All
right, Matt, any further questions? All right, thank you for the presentation. We look forward to the next one. All right, at this time, is there any miscellaneous business? If not, if nothing else holds our attention, our meeting is